What's it doing? Let's go.
The Costa Serena is one of the world's most spectacular cruise ships. Famous throughout Europe, she is part of an award-winning green fleet. She is longer than the London Bridge, her decks cover more space than 20 football fields, and she can carry almost 3,800 passengers on each cruise. The 1,000 crew members, all of whom spend most of their lives at sea, are pushing hard to maintain the grueling pace.
Very frustrating for me.
No.
We work here, but we live here.
This cruise will be the toughest yet, as the ship hosts her first rock concert at sea. Crazed fans, paparazzi, and a host of celebrities compete with unruly crew, politics, and passion for a week of epic chaos.
This is the job.
This is cruise ship life as never seen before. The next few weeks will test this floating city's mettle and will reveal exactly what it's like to live and work on one of the ocean's true giants. This is Cruise Ship Diaries. The Costa Serena is due to dock in Venice this morning, but the day has not started out well. The ship was due in port 20 minutes ago. Winter seems to have begun early. There is a blanket of thick mist covering the city, the port, and the Giudecca Canal. Captain Giuseppe Russo and his second officer Christian Cotugno have a challenge on their hands. It's almost impossible to see more than 25 meters in front of them. This means that they are forced to slow down to a near halt and carefully navigate their way to the port. The Giudecca Canal is one of the world's busiest channels, spanning just 400 meters across. It's no simple navigation, even with perfect visibility. The canal was never designed to account for ships the size of the Serena. At this speed, the officers estimate that they will arrive in port over an hour late. This is not good news for guests waiting to disembark. Many of them may now miss their flights out of Venice. Edward, the director of services, and his assistant Rob have their hands full.
We have the guests, that are getting pretty nervous, which is very easy to understand. They might have their travel arrangements, they might be scared to miss their flights. It stresses us a little bit.
I've heard about this infamous fog in wintertime in Venice. Foghorn blasting made my heart race a little bit.
Blood pressure is climbing throughout the ship. The team is taking the strain. The officers on the bridge can't do anything more. They're forced to continue sailing as slowly as possible through the busy channel. The ship is already 40 minutes late. The delay will have a knock-on effect. Over 1,000 German guests are boarding in Venice today, and they'll be waiting at the port right now, unimpressed.
Germans, this is one sin that they would never forgive you, to be late.
At least the officers on the bridge are making progress. They've entered the port. Docking such a huge ship takes some of the best nautical skills around, and this team have a reputation for being on top of their game.
There are humans and there are maritime people. And I'm so happy that all the other officers from the fleet, they are so jealous of the team that we have here on board this ship.
Christian is one of the younger second officers at sea and is already preparing to take his first officer's examination at the end of this contract. His father is a captain and introduced him to the sea.
So I just used to spend all my summer and Christmas holidays on the ship. So the first time I went, I was around, I don't remember now, 5, 6 years old. So now I'm 26. So it's actually 20 years already that I've been on the ships, and I'm really in love with this job.
There's always hot competition amongst the officers to work with Captain Russo. He is famous for his technical skills and cool approach.
I really respect the captain a lot, and everywhere in the world he's known as the best maneuver, because he's really maneuvering the ship half time than all the other companies.
Living up to his reputation once again, Captain Russo swings the ship into perfect position. The cruisers must now be disembarked, and the team must quickly prep the 14 guest decks for the new passengers who are already waiting to board. Due to the late arrival, the crew have less time than usual to service the Italian ship's 128,000 square meters. Along with the 1,200 German guests, there are several celebrities embarking today. Housekeeping is under pressure to get the suites in shape. Lunch is already being prepared. The crew knows that their German guests will want to prompt food service once they board.
As soon as that buffet opens, you are in Germantown.
The chef's supplies for the upcoming week are being loaded. The inventory team now has less time in port to complete the loading, and today it's more complicated than usual. It's officially the beginning of the winter season, and all the menus have changed. New ingredients, new suppliers, and several special requests like fresh baby quail mean the inventory team must be on the ball.
To check the truck.
Christian has a few hours off and has decided to go ashore with Cheryl, his fiancée, who works on the Serena as one of the dancers. They don't often get to go ashore together, and so take every opportunity they can. Attilio, the hotel director, doesn't have a moment of downtime today. He has some celebrities boarding soon and needs to check that their special requests have arrived. The inventory team have been briefed to bring the special deliveries straight to Attilio, who will personally ensure the secret supplies are delivered to the luxury suites. Edward wants to check the quality of some of the new deliveries personally. More beer than usual has been ordered for this cruise.
You better make sure that you don't run out of beer when you have our German guests on board, you know.
Federica, the cruise director, and her entertainment team have had to rework all the schedules to suit the German guests. Their approach has had to change completely.
We have to lower the volume of the music, you know, all over the ship, from the musicians to the shows in the theatre, because they are very much annoyed by the loud volumes.
Federica has improvised. Just in case the regular stage shows aren't popular with the new cruisers, she has arranged for a well-known ventriloquist, René Luden, to perform on this cruise. René has worked on the ship several times before, and the crew can usually count on him to entertain guests in up to 13 languages. To please quieter cruisers, Beppe de Michele, head of adult entertainment, was told he needs to tone down his way of relating to guests, and now arguments are erupting over everything. He is well known for his exuberance, but the heads of department are worried he may offend some German passengers.
He's very, very lively.
If you look at him, you think he's rude.
You have to slow him down a little bit.
The situation has caused tension.
Devo venire io! No, dobbiamo farci la figura di merda noi. Ma va.
Ma vedi che sono stati contati molto bene. Ciao, ciao.
Hotel director Attilio knows this week will be a careful balancing act. Towards the end of the cruise, a famous rock band will board the ship for the Serena's first rock concert at sea. As famous in Italy as the Beatles in England, Nomadi will be boarding for a one-night spectacular in the Giove Theatre. It won't be easy keeping wild fans and conservative Germans happy at the same time. Attilio has called a meeting with all the heads of department to go over the week's plan, and has told the printers to include a notice about the upcoming rock show in the Today programmes. 3,800 of these entertainment schedules are printed daily and are delivered to each cabin. Preparing guests for the week ahead will hopefully limit any frustration over loud volumes. Down in the bowels of the ship, the stage is set for some engine action. The chief engineer, Francesco Iorio, and his engineering team are preparing to open up one of the engines and perform some routine maintenance. The diodes that help drive one of the giant motors must be replaced, and it's a massive task. It involves the engineers climbing inside the motor casing. During this time, access to the area is strictly prohibited. If just one button is pressed in error, the technicians could be minced. All tools are laid out carefully. Nothing can be dropped inside the casing, and what goes in must come out. The engineers must work quickly. They must be finished in time for the ship to leave Venice. The loading is almost complete, and guests have begun to board.
Dankeschön. Willkommen an Bord.
The Samsara Spa is bracing itself for the invasion. The spa is one of the most famous features of the ship. One of the largest spas at sea, it covers more than 2,000 square meters, and it's always a hit with celebrity cruisers and German guests alike. Some guests have only just embarked and have already made their way to the Samsara. Renee Hunter, the female lead singer in the stage shows on board, is one of the few staff members who is occasionally allowed to use the spa facilities. She's taking this opportunity to relax, as she knows this week will be a crazy one. She has a new male singer joining her on board today, and one of the dancers, Melissa, has disembarked for personal reasons.
Melissa! You fucked up every number in the show.
Melissa's replacement, Danielle, has already begun rehearsals with the other dancers.
It's very strange for all of us to have a different, member of the team, but I feel so sorry for her because she's really getting thrown in at the deep end. I mean, when we first arrived, we were all in the same boat, all new to it, and it was all a shock to the system. But for her, she's just on her own.
Down in the engine room, the technical team have completed the replacement of the diodes in good time, but the job is far from over. One of the most important phases of the process is checking that nothing has been left inside the motor. Every single part must be accounted for. Just one tiny screw left inside the casing could bring the massive ship to a standstill. All guests are now on board, and it's time for the Costa Serena to leave Venice. The mist has finally lifted, allowing guests a clear and unique view of the city. The Serena will return in 7 days. The cruise has begun. Hotel director Attilio is concerned about pleasing the German guests this week and wants his team on the ball. He's asked Edouard, the director of services, to brief them carefully.
They have total different expectations in terms of the food. Also, as we know that our German guests, they do not like really big crowds.
It's different from the summer season. The summer season, they all want to enjoy.
The team are hoping that some customized events, like a beer fest on the pool deck, will help their German guests to feel at home. Attilio's anonymous celebrity guests are on board, and security has been briefed to be on the lookout for paparazzi. Nobody is to know the identity or location of the famous cruisers at any time. The entire ship is monitored by hundreds of hidden security cameras, and monitoring sites are strictly out of bounds.
Excuse me, sir, this is a restricted area. Nobody's told me that you're going to be coming in. Excuse me, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's rumoured that it may be the famous Belgian martial artist and actor Jean-Claude Van Damme and his family that are on board. Renee the ventriloquist will perform tonight and will disembark when the ship docks tomorrow. Usually, Renee's wife joins him on his jobs, but since their small dog was prohibited from accompanying them, she has found it more and more difficult to leave home. Even on his own, Renee is comfortable. He has been performing on cruise ships for many years and knows what to expect from the onboard community.
It's like a little village. You know, the front of you nice, in the back, they are funny. Factor, you know.
The roots of the onboard grapevine are here in the Samsara Spa, where the staff pride themselves on knowing it all.
We know everything. We know everything. We all like gossip. It's what we do best. It's our thing. We love the gossip. Before you know it, for this cruise,
Amy is from Australia and is known for her passion for intrigue. This morning, some German guests have already given her a lot to talk about by insisting on using the public spa facilities totally naked.
One particular lady I had to tell 4 or 5 times on every kind of half an hour, please put the costume on, please put the costume on.
After some negotiation, the guests left the spa unimpressed. Lindsay, the dance captain, has arranged for some private rehearsals with Danielle, the new dancer. Lindsay needs Danielle to be slick for the upcoming show, and she's still uncomfortable with some of the numbers.
Just that last bit.
Because of the preparation for the rock concert in the theatre, the cast will have limited time for technical rehearsals. Danielle is under serious pressure to get this right. She's already lost points for physique. At the beginning of this contract, Gerald, the choreographer, made it clear that he would not tolerate overweight performers.
I like them thin with long legs.
He instructed them all to watch their weight and work out hard. The cast is worried that when Gerald sees the DVD recording of the show, he won't be happy with Danielle at all.
She's quite big. I mean, we thought, oh, Gerald is going to smash her into a million pieces. You can't go on stage looking like that, you know? I think Gerald is going to say she's got a certain amount of time to lose weight, and I want her to guarantee us that she'll lose the weight.
Appearances are important to everyone. All staff have been told to head to the uniform store on Deck B for a complete uniform switch.
We've gone from the summer season to the winter season, so of course a change of costume from very light colors to very dark colors in uniform.
No matter how busy they are, all staff must find time to make the uniform switch. For many of them, it's a welcome change.
I actually like this uniform. I think it has a very stately look to it. Something that I think will be appreciated in photos I send back home.
The staff and tailors in the uniform store will be working hard. Fitting 1,000 new uniforms and making all the necessary nips and tucks will take time. The ship's fresh appearance is in the hands of the maintenance team. They work hard every day to combat the aging effects of sun, salt water and wind. Right now, the 50-ton retractable glass roof of the pool deck is getting some attention. The team constantly battle rust, and treating the metal on board is critical. But even constant maintenance can't rule out technical malfunctions. One of the 10 elevators in the atrium has trapped guests inside. The technicians are trying to fix the problem. On the bridge of the ship, the captain has called a meeting with his senior officers. Very few people are ever allowed here, as the bridge is the most protected area on board. There is bad weather ahead, and the officers will need to be prepared and focused.
Every day and every cruise is different, but when you enter the bridge, you just have to forget what is your own life. Sometimes it happens that I even fight with my girlfriend, you have your things, but once you have to know that once you enter the bridge, then you have to leave what is your life behind you.
Christian will be on duty when the ship sails through the Dardanelles Strait in a few nights' time. It's infamously dangerous and with bad weather will be a real challenge. Captain Russo is worried that the sea will be too rough to anchor offshore, as the ship usually does in Croatia. So he has arranged to dock inside the sheltered port of Dubrovnik instead. It'll take some logistical magic to bus 3,800 people from the port to the town centre and back again, but the team has no choice. The guests are still stuck in the elevator. The door is jammed and won't open fully. They can't get out. The engineers are preoccupied as they're in the middle of an important blackout drill. They are testing the electrical supply and the backup systems of the ship. The Sirena has 6 enormous diesel generators, each producing 12,600 kilowatts of power. The rock concert will increase the load, and Francesco must be sure that all the backup systems are functioning. With increasingly rough seas, the captain will be using the stabilizers more often, and these use up extra energy. The engineers will have to monitor power supply closely. Danielle is having to learn fast. Lindsay is worried she isn't ready to perform the full show yet, and so has only put her in a few of the numbers. the guests are finally free. Danielle is making every effort to get the moves right.
All the dancers say she's doing really well. Only thing is that she needs to lose the weight. I think before Gerald sees her. But she's a good dancer, and I think that might count.
Same. Same.
Attilio is headed to the spa. There are some new employees on board, and he has told the spa manager he'll be up there shortly to inspect facilities and procedure. Everyone knows that Attilio takes no prisoners, and they must prepare for his inspection. Attilio has asked to test one of the new masseurs, and will be watching him closely. The new massage therapist is under pressure to impress. Attilio has asked for a full body massage. Attilio will be occupied for a while. This gives Amy a chance to head down to the crew mess on Deck 0 to grab something to eat. No guests are ever allowed in the crew mess, and it's one of the few places where all staff can relax and be themselves. It seems Beppe is up to his usual antics. Backstage, Rene is preparing for his show, which will begin in a few hours.
I work a lot with this one because it's very funny and he's always drunk. That's very funny because he's drinking. I never drink. I just drink some wine at the table, but I am not a drunker. I don't smoke. I don't take drugs. I don't gambling. I don't. But I have a vice. Don't worry. I like women.
Attilio seems pleased so far.
All right. Very good. I like it. Very good.
Federica and Paola decide to talk with Beppe and Gaetano, head of children's entertainment. Federica needs Beppe to understand exactly why it's important to calm down and treat the German guests with care. This is not negotiable. There will be bingo in the Grand Bar and not Beppe's striptease games.
Non va bene, però dobbiamo farlo finire prima, ragazzi.
Non va bene, come farlo?
He's a little, let's say, not in a very good mood at the moment. Anyway.
Grazie per l'attenzione, buona giornata.
Attilio is very pleased with the Samsara staff. The new masseur definitely knew which buttons to press.
Vidi bingo numero 8, 43.
You must be beautiful and ready on stage, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Are you ready?
So quiet. My shoes.
Your shoes?
Yes.
It's almost showtime for Rene.
Okay. We go on stage.
Come?
3 minutes.
Oh, take me.
Oh, you must take him. Vieni qua. Stefano, prendili. Ecco, questo è il primo. Tieni. Ecco, uno. Oh, con delicatezza, eh?
With bingo underway and the ventriloquist show about to start, Beppe has some unexpected downtime.
Eccomi qua. Allora, microfono, andiamo? Forza. Un minuto, ok. Pronto, metto il microfono.
English? Yes. In English, yes. In American?
Yeah. In American? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Who told you that?
Clinton.
Ah, tu sei bellino così. Quella mammina? Sì, quella mammina? Sì, 3 woorden. I love you.
Spending up to 9 months at sea takes focus and constitution. Early morning, before most cruisers are up and ready for action, is a good opportunity for staff to enjoy some downtime and catch up on personal chores like laundry. Most crew work contracts at least 8 months long, and life at sea is certainly not for everyone.
Sometimes you really get crew members coming on board. They are not even able to finish the first cruise because it's not easy to live on board.
Time's gone really quickly, I must say, and because it's all new for me, the first few weeks just flew by, and I wasn't even really thinking of home much because it was all so manic.
I'm pretty much adjusted. The question is, can I readjust, reintegrate into mainstream society?
Always you have nice things and bad things. Like the good thing, for example, is you don't have to stress about traffic and getting ready, because when you wake up, you are 15 seconds away from your working place, you know?
We work here, but we live here. We are always on the ship. We all have our problems. That's when I call my mom.
I refuse to get negative on the ship because you can easily get negative on the ship. And I just make every day a great time.
For many crew members, like the staff in the general laundry, working on board allows them to earn far more than they would earn in a similar position on land. Monotonous work pays off for many of these young people, who are now able to support entire families at home. Attilio, the hotel director, has been working at sea for 32 years. He may be well known for his high standards and fiery temper.
You don't know nothing, my dear.
But Attilio knows that staying motivated on long contracts is essential. He runs a regular ship-wide Employee of the Month competition to keep spirits up. Crew from all departments can be nominated by senior staff for hard work, enthusiasm and attitude. Attilio has asked Paola to organise a staff party in the crew bar at the end of the cruise so that the winner can be announced in style. But right now, the crew bar is out of bounds. Raju, the head of security, is checking the security cameras. The ship is nearing Istanbul, and the famous rock band Nomadi will be boarding shortly. Security staff are ready to secretly embark the band from Deck Zero. It won't be easy. Several fans have already been staking out since first thing this morning. In the Prometeo buffet area, the German corner is ready for battle. Stroganoff, sauerkraut, and several different sausages are on the menu this morning. The Sirena has docked in Istanbul. Fortunately for the staff, few guests can resist the opportunity to explore this Turkish city, and the ship empties quickly. This port is also popular with crew. Eugene Mendoza is a bar waiter and welcomes the stopover as he's not on duty and gets to speak with his family in the Philippines via webcam.
Hello, Isha. How are you? Hello. Good. You go to school now.
Eugene has been nominated for the Employee of the Month and will find out soon if he has won the €100 prize.
Bye-bye.
Eugene doesn't have long on shore today. Everyone is needed back at the ship for an evacuation drill. Safety officer Giovanni Magistro is responsible for the maintenance of all safety equipment and tests emergency mechanisms like fire sprinklers and fire hoses regularly. Cruise ships are not allowed to carry arms, and fire hoses are also used as defensive weapons should pirates attempt to board the ship. Giovanni conducts periodic training exercises on board and tests all crew on their knowledge of emergency procedures during surprise mini-drills.
And pay attention for next time, okay? Because we repeat the training every day.
Today, he has called for the captain to conduct one of the largest and most important training exercises of them all, an emergency evacuation drill. All staff must participate.
Everybody present!
None of these officers are strangers to real emergencies and are always enthusiastic to participate in training exercises. Christian has had many close calls.
We have having a ship in front of us, and in 5 minutes there was just a ball of fire. That's it.
Today's drill involves a hidden victim that the fire team must locate and rescue while the rest of the crew are evacuated by lifeboat. The fire squad must search the cabins. Just walking in these fire suits is really difficult. These drills are exhausting for the officers, and it takes much practice to be able to function efficiently inside the firefighting gear.
Go, 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 go!
All crew must swiftly approach and enter the lifeboats. Each lifeboat holds between 120 and 150 people and is stocked with food and water, as well as seasickness pills and emergency flares. The fire squad has located the source of the fire and must now rescue the trapped crew member from inside the cabin. They have just minutes. The patient must be stabilized and raced to the hospital on deck 0. The crew seem to know what they're doing.
Ecco perché.
There is some panic on stage today. Although Danielle has integrated well and has learnt fast, there are some unexpected issues with the new male lead singer, Bashir.
Well, Bashir is a bit slow. So, yeah, that's frustrating. I can't understand how someone can be a singer and not know timing. Everyone's sort of looking at me to teach him, and I'm sorry, I'm not a teacher, otherwise I wouldn't be here, I'd be teaching.
Things aren't going much better for Beppe and Paola, who are constantly disagreeing. It's time for security to head down to deck 0. The band have arrived.
Yeah, our German we have to call them later.
They and their equipment are being embarked before too many guests return from their day exploring Istanbul. The band members are whisked up to their exclusive cabins before any fans have the chance to mob them. This crew is experienced when it comes to dealing with celebrities.
There was a very, very famous person with a very, very young wife, and the gentleman was always busy. There was a lot of press on board, and maybe the lady felt a little bit lonely and a little bit, forgotten, so she kept on calling me all the time, trying to get me. It was really a very famous person. It was a very famous American.
Many guests have returned to the ship, and it's time for the German beer fest on the pool deck. Bashir is struggling to keep up, but rehearsal time has run out.
Your timing for Over the Rainbow was also
No,
this afternoon.
No, it was fine. It's just stress, man.
What stress?
It's a new show.
I know it's a new show, but
No, it will be okay
But you
tonight.
saw the
It will be
time.
right tonight.
it will be right.
As the ship leaves Istanbul, Christian is on duty. The wind is picking up. At about 11 p.m, he will guide the 115,000-ton ship through the Dardanelles Strait, which is well known for its shallow, narrow course. He's hoping there won't be any mist.
Applauso, big applause. Le prix c'est Antichon le casino. Hey! Un big applause, le piano.
It's showtime. The Costa Serena is approaching the Dardanelles Strait. During this time, bridge security is tightened.
No. This time, no. Please, this way. Thank you.
Christian says he will allow filming on condition that no lights of any sort are used. The cameras must shoot in night vision mode only, and silence must be observed. The strait is so narrow that land on both sides of the ship is clearly visible. There are other vessels using the strait tonight, and Christian must keep a safe distance.
7, 8.
Christian has slowed the ship considerably as the pilot is about to board.
So we had to stop our engine now, in the middle of the channel. Thanks God there is not too much traffic.
As an expert on the area, the pilot will help Christian guide the Serena safely through the channel. The Dardanelles are part of the waterway between the Mediterranean and Black Seas.
Sector Cuncare, Costa Serena. Congratulations.
The Serena is safely through the Dardanelles Strait.
Okay, bye-bye. Have a nice trip.
Christian's shift is over, and he will no doubt be heading straight to the disco, like many of the staff. The disco is a popular hangout for the crew. Renee and Heather have decided to show Danielle on-board party procedure.
Into the disco. To cause a bit of trouble, should we say.
It seems everybody is eager to let their hair down. Costa Serena is approaching Dubrovnik. As the captain predicted, their usual tendering spot is too windy today, and so the ship will dock in the port of Dubrovnik further along the coast. Dubrovnik is a popular stop for cruisers, and one of the highlights of the cruise for some of the staff. The Dubrovnik pilot has been known to create some waves.
I remember I was standing on deck 0 waiting to, for the gates to be open and start disembarkation, and I see this statue, this angel walking towards me, and I almost fainted. My legs went shaky. I really thought I was having a vision. Mamma mia, he's absolutely gorgeous. He looks like, I don't know, James Bond or something.
However, I do not seem very attractive at all. I don't know what he has more than me or anybody else, to be honest.
The buses are on standby to take guests to the city centre. The stop in Croatia is a short one. Guests only have a few hours to explore. Having to bus into town takes up some of their day, and staff quickly help them on their way. The band's technicians set up for the rock concert. All instruments must be sound-checked, and reserved seating for the die-hard fans allocated. Nobody else will have access to the theatre. Bashir, the new singer, isn't complaining. The last show didn't go too well, and he's received warnings from the cast that unless his performance improves quickly, they will call for a replacement. All guests have disembarked and the crew can now relax. It's tough keeping energy levels up 24/7, and entertaining guests around the clock is draining. The winner of the Employee of the Month contest will be revealed at the staff party in the crew bar. Attilio has told the captain who the winner is and has invited him to attend the presentation. The captain won't be able to make it if the weather worsens. Francesco, the chief engineer, has told his team that they may need to use the stabilizers. They don't want to rock the boat more than necessary during the Normandy concert. In the theatre, the technicians are almost finished with their sound check. Some fans are already claiming their spots, even though the concert is still hours away. The Serena is on the move again, and Normandy fans are given an unexpected treat. The band has made a surprise appearance on the pool deck. The band members are all keen footballers, and their manager has asked the captain if they can challenge the officers to a football match.
I love them. I love. Hey, attacca!
Eugene, how are you?
Fine, thank you for asking.
After much anticipation, Normandy fans are about to get just what they came for. The Normandy fans are not disappointed. For them, the concert is a memorable occasion. But for the crew on board the Costa Serena, it's a celebration of a historical event, her first rock concert at sea. down in the crew bar, it's time for one of the staff to take centre stage. The winner of the Employee of the Month competition will be announced.
The best colleague of the month, Mrs. Wu Yin Chen.
Yin Chen, a bar waiter from China, is the overall winner.
To Yin Chen.
The past week has not been without its trials, but the crew are feeling energised, for now. They're going to need even heads and good sea legs for the new itinerary in the coming weeks. Demanding performers, surprise visitors, and some serious disappointments are all in the cards.
The party is the best.
Next time on Cruise Ship Diaries.